From Petaluma High School. It's one of the biggest games in Petaluma baseball in a long time. It's the Casa Grande Gauchos and the Petaluma Trojans in a winner take all, loser go home, the first round of the NCS playoffs. And a very good afternoon, everyone, from a packed Abbey Field here at Petaluma High School. I'm Griffin Epstein. What a game this afternoon between the 8th-seeded Gauchos and the 9th-seeded Trojans. It's been a wild season for both teams, a lot of ups and downs. Both teams have had very strong spurts of their season where they've really used their talent. A lot of players headed to D1 schools in the years to come. There's going to be a lot of talent on the diamond, but on both sides have struggled to piece it together as they are very young. Teams were still rewarded with solid seeds in NCS. Casa Grande, the 8 seed, and Petaluma, the 9 seed. So why are we playing at Petaluma High's baseball diamond, you ask? Casa's field too wet after it rained both Wednesday and Thursday. This game originally scheduled for Wednesday moved to Abbey Field, which is a far better field in terms of drainage of water. However, Casa Grande still the home team. They will bat second, but Petaluma will wear their home whites, Casa their road greens. But Casa is the de facto home team in this first round of the NCS playoffs. Casa made it to the quarterfinals before being eliminated last year. The Trojans were eliminated in the first round here at Abbey Field last year. And the fourth time these teams have played so far this season, Petaluma, when they were playing excellent baseball early in their season, beat Casa Grande here 5-2 before in the last two meetings for Casa Grande, the Gauchos have knocked off Petaluma. Let's head on onto the field. We are just about ready for first pitch here from Abbey Field, and the Trojans are going to see a very familiar foe in Mario Taramia. The Gaucho ace is 4-0 on the season. He has a 1.11 ERA, and this will be his 6th game started. He has 7 appearances overall, and he has been absolutely dominant against Petaluma. He pitched a no-hitter against the Trojans in the Boris Classic on April 17th before shutting them down in the Gauchos' 5-2 victory just last Tuesday. Taramia trying to get his 3rd victory and slow down dangerous Gaucho bats once again. Sophomore's first pitch is popped up by Mark Wolbert, slicing into foul territory. The left fielder for the Gauchos ranging over, tripping and falling and unable to make the catch. That's gotta hurt. Elijah Waltz, the Gaucho left fielder, looks a little shaken up too as he chased that one down the left field line. But remember, this turf's still going to be slick. It's not waterclogged, but heavy rain the last 2 days is certainly not going to make for easy footing out in the outfield, and Waltz learns that the hard way. Taramia has pitched the last 14 innings for the Gauchos in this rivalry series. He's only given up 4 hits, allowed just 2 home runs, and he's struck out 12 Petaluma batters. Absolutely dominant stuff from the sophomore as Wolbert takes low. Scoreboard in the top left-hand corner for you this afternoon. So we bring you this first round NCS playoff game live here on Trojan Live. A deep breath from the sophomore, and here comes the 1-1. That catches the inside of the strike zone. Taramia, he has speed and he has location. He's only a sophomore. He wasn't even on varsity last year. But he has all of the makings of a star, and he's turned into that this year. Wolbert, however, is a sophomore star himself, and he lines that up the middle. And a great start for Petaluma. Mark Wolbert continues his fantastic play. His 25th hit of the season, as the Trojans just have their 5th hit off Taramia in the last 15 innings. Petaluma did jump on the Gaucho ace for 2 runs when these teams faced off last week before the Trojans never scored again. Petaluma would love to get off to a quick start once again as Garrett Lewis digs in for Petaluma, another sophomore. Taramina steps off and takes a look back at Wolbert, who has some speed. This one is hit hard, right to short. Bobbled by Lamp. He gets 1 and 2. What a play by the Gauchos. Joe Lamp, the senior captain, starts it off as short. And easily, Taramia works out of the jam. It's Gaucho infield and outfield. Probably the best part of this team. Only 25 errors on this season, a .959% fielding percentage. The Gauchos are excellent fielders, and they make Lewis pay. So 2 out, nobody on, and Sam Brown digs in for Petaluma in the 3-hole. He swings at the first pitch and drives this one into right field. A long, awkward run, but the catch is made. And the Trojans with some active swinging there early. Well, there was a 7-pitch inning for the Gaucho ace. Not what you want if you're Petaluma, and I guess their approach was to go up and be aggressive, but Petaluma goes down very easily in that first inning, with the Trojans unable to get anything after the nice double play for Casa Grande. And these teams are headed in opposite directions coming in, which is definitely indicative of their seeding and why Casa is the 8 and Petaluma the 9, even though the Trojans have both a better record and probably have beaten better teams overall this season. The Gauchos are coming in very hot. They've won 6 out of their last 7, and it included 3 straight league victories to give the Gauchos a share of the VVAL pennant with Petaluma. If we could head back out onto the field, please. And Petaluma hasn't had that same success. Trojans obviously lost to Casa Grande last week, did come around to beat Vintage, and that was enough to give them a share of the league pennant with Casa Grande and Sonoma Valley. But the Trojans have really had a much more up and down season. Started off their season 2 straight losses before they won 7 straight. Promptly lost 7 straight. Won 7 straight, lost 7 straight. Then seemed to turn it around. Won 5 out of 6 before losing to Casa. But I think also on both sides, it's been such a long break. Neither team, well, Petaluma hasn't played in 9 days. Casa hasn't played in 7. So for both teams, they've had long breaks, a lot of time to think about this matchup with the rain pushing it back 2 more days. And you wonder how much will momentum factor in with the Gauchos coming hot, and Petaluma, I think, not exactly sure how they're playing at this point in the season because they've been through so many ups and downs. Gauchos started their season very slowly. Petaluma first beat them here at Abbey Field 5-3. The Gauchos were really struggling. They lost 4 out of their first 6 of the season, but second half of this year, especially after they got back from the Boris tournament where both teams lost 3 out of 4, the Gauchos turned it on. They got a nice victory against Powerhouse St. Francis at the Elite 8 tournament, and then their only loss since then has been to a non-conference game to Powerhouse Northgate. Sam Brown will take the mound for Petaluma, and an interesting decision for manager Jim Salvatella for the Trojans. Brown is not probably the best pitcher for Petaluma. He, however, is by far the most experienced, the only returning pitcher from last year's squad for Petaluma. But he hasn't had that much success this year. He's 2-4 with a 3.68 ERA in 6 starts. He's only started games, 26.2 innings pitched. Batters are reaching base against him 35% of the time. Brown's first pitch into Joe Lamp for a strike. And Brown did pitch against Casa Grande last week. It was an up and down start for him, but it was really just one bad inning, which might be why Salvatella wants to bring out Brown again, because he felt like he had success against the Gauchos. Brown pitched 5 innings, allowed 3 hits on 5 runs, and he struck out 8, but he had to work hard. 102 pitches. Gauchos really battled against them. And it was the 3rd inning that they scored all 5 of their runs, in an inning with a couple of misplays in the Trojan infield, a couple walks. The Gauchos put a 5 spot. That was the difference. If Brown can settle into a rhythm and avoid that bad inning, maybe he can quiet the Gaucho bats. 3-year varsity player. He has the experience. He's got a lot to contend with. Gaucho batters that are coming in hot. Lamp takes low 1 and 2. Lamp might be coming in hotter than any of the rest of the Gauchos. 25 hits on the season, 342 batting average. Includes 5 triples, 13 walks, and a 684 slugging percentage. He can hit some bombs too. 3 home runs on the season, 6 doubles. That's a nice strikeout on the inside corner for Brown. 1 down. Oh, if Brown could work that location with the power he has, and he has excellent power at his fastball, there could be problems for the Gauchos. Nick Tormina will dig in. Yes, that's the twin brother of Mario Tormina. As Tormina takes low. The sophomore is batting .286 on the year with 16 hits. 2 talented twins will be the faces of this Gaucho baseball program for years to come. Misses outside 2-0. Around the Trojan infield this afternoon, Petaluma has shifted its lineup a lot. That one misses outside. Garrett Lewis playing first today for Petaluma with Brown on the mound, who normally plays first. Sam Jacobs playing second, the one starter who's played that position every single game this year. Brown finds a strike. Nico Bertolucci, the junior at shortstop, and Joe Brown, Sam Brown's younger brother, at third today. That misses outside. Taramina works a walk. So 1 on, 1 out. Brings up Noah Bailey. The winner of this one will move on to take on the winner of Redwood and Jesse Bethel. So number 1 seed Redwood likely to come out of that one. That one being played concurrently about 30 minutes south in Larkspur. Bailey takes low. Gaucho bench, Gaucho fans very vocal for the start of this one. More vocal than the Petaluma fans at bench. A lot of energy. You can feel the confidence both oozing out from the bench and from the stands right now, these Gaucho supporters. Casa used to winning a lot of NCS games. Just 2 years ago, the Gauchos made it all the way to the NCS championship game before falling. Were a 3 seed last year, falling in the quarterfinals. 4 years ago, fell in the semis. That one misses high. Petaluma hasn't had the same kind of success. They haven't even been to an NCS semifinal since 2012. Brown struggling to find the strike zone right now. 6 out of his last 7 pitches out of the zone. That flies way over Gallagher. Taramia walks down to second. Well, this is a concern for Coach Salvatella early. Brown does not look like he has good control at all. That's one of his biggest weaknesses. He has the power, but especially last year when he came in and pitched, as a first-year pitcher, really struggled to control his stuff. Not a good start to this one after the strikeout of Lamp. That misses high. Brown has walked 2. He only walked 2 last week when he faced the Gauchos. But an absolute disaster to start this one. This is exactly how bad innings start. Big number 14, Cole Santander, digs in with ducks on the pond for the Gauchos. Brown's just going to have to find the strike zone first before he can get back to pitching. Santander, a junior, and another very patient hitter on the Gauchos. 14 walks over the course of the season. Brown's off speed, catches the strike zone, and he gets ahead here for the first time this inning. Needs to do more of that. 24 hits on the season for Santander, 13 runs and 25 batted in. Leads the team in both walks and runs batted in. Which is about the perfect position for the junior. That one skids by Gallagher, and both runners will advance again. Just completely out of control by Brown. There was lots of velocity. There was no way Gallagher was going to make that stop. And this is exactly why you question this decision from Jim Salvatella to start Brown in this game. Yes, he had success against Petaluma last week, but you rank the 4 starting pitchers for Petaluma, Brown's probably 4th in terms of overall skill. 1-1, 2 pass balls, 2 walks, or 2 wild pitches, I should say. Big swing and a miss, and for whatever reason, Santander chased. I don't know why the Gauchos would swing right now. Brown's body language hasn't looked good either. He's rubbing at the mound a lot, licking his fingers, and looking agitated. 1-2, though. He's ahead on the count on Santander. Runners at second and third and 1 out. Santander just nips a piece of that to stay alive. Well, Brown's got a lot more options now to work with ahead of the count. Doesn't have a lot of variety of pitches. He's going to fall behind in the count. That's when it's danger time. Gauchos reaching base as a team overall 38.1% of the time. A .259 batting average. The 1-2 from Brown. Catches the outside corner, strike 3. Santander takes a seat. 2 down. Well, it's been a tale of different batters so far for Brown. We've seen 2 excellent performances by Brown on Santander and Lamp. Probably the 2 best hitters for Casa. Struck out both of them. But he's walked the other 2. And the pitches haven't even been close. Elijah Waltz settles in with 2 outs. First pitch is high. Nice job by Gallagher to snare that one. That was traveling fast and furious way out of the zone. Gallagher's a rock there behind the plate, and he's got to settle the junior Brown down. But he's got an opportunity to get out of the setting. The Gauchos trying to strike first here in the first round of the NCS playoffs. His time is called. Termina at third, Bailey at second. There's one right down the pipe from Brown, 1-1. Trojans coming 14-10 overall, 8-4 in the Vine Valley Athletic League. Gauchos were also 8-4 in the Vine Valley Athletic League, 13-11 overall. This one is hit hard into left field. It will get down for a base hit. 1 run will score. Here comes Bailey in, and it's 2-0 Casa Grande. Gaucho fans on their feet as Casa strikes first blood. A big RBI single by Elijah Waltz. And the 2 walks by Brown come down to bite him. First base hit, give it up of the day, but you just can't give free passes to good batters. Brown misses outside. Inside. Kyle Taylor digs in. Gaucho's second half of the order is nowhere near the prowess of the top half. Brown really should be able to work through it pretty easily. But if he doesn't have good control, he's not going to be able to. 2-0 already. Jim Salvatella having a conversation right now with his other coaches, but haven't seen any action in the bullpen. Trojans haven't played in 9 days. Julian Garahan, Mark Walbert, any pitcher is available for Petaluma. Hoping that Brown can work through this as he finds a strike on the inside corner. Off speed, misses outside. 3-1, and Taylor ahead. This is trouble time for Brown. Another walk, 3 in the inning now for Brown as he swipes upsettingly at the mound. Looks behind him into center field. Questioning his control right now. And now here comes Jim Salvatella to have a conversation with the junior pitcher. There's no doubt he has the experience, but he has not looked ready for this moment at all. Salvatella's not pulling him yet as he'll have a conversation with the junior pitcher, but he needs to make sure to get out of this inning with runners now at first and second and 2 down, or the Gauchos could blow this game right open early. Brown just has not had enough control. He's had a couple nice at-bats where he's gone strikeouts, but it has not been nearly enough consistency of just throwing strikes. Baseball's a simple game when you muddy it down. It's throwing strikes and getting the opposing batters to hit the balls in the right places. You can't throw the ball in the strike zone. It's not going to work out for you very well. That one nearly hit Nick Aurelia in the head. Aurelia batting .286 on the year with 15 hits. 6 batted in. That sails way high. Brown looks at the dugout. Jim Salvatella turns around and tells Julian Garahan to get loose in the bullpen. 2-0 from Brown. Misses high again. Completely has no sense right now of the strike zone. And you can feel the Gaucho fans, the Gaucho dugout, and the Gaucho batters weighing slowly down on the junior pitcher. 3-0, and it hit him. Garahan's only starting to get loose now. I don't think you can pull Brown. Garahan's just not ready. Brown's got to find a way to get out of this inning and throw some strikes. But once you start walking batter after batter, hitting batters, that strike zone looks smaller and smaller and smaller. Cole Shimmick steps in. He has 12 walks on the season. Another patient Gaucho batter. Nowhere to put them now for Brown. First pitch, big swing and a miss. And I just don't know why you're swinging at all if you're Casa right now. But Shimmick takes a massive hack. When Brown's been ahead of things, he's worked 2 strikeouts. That bounces low. Excellent play by Gallagher as he throws back to third after blocking it. Waltz dives back safely. 1-1. Garahan just be getting a long toss right now. He's not going to be ready this inning. This is up to Brown to finish that, and then Coach Salvatella might look to the sophomore ace for Petaluma after this. 2-1. This one is fouled hard off and out of play down the third base line. 2-2 to Shimmick. 2-0. Casa leads. Bottom first here of the first round of the NCS playoffs. 2-2 from Brown. Off speed. Got Shimmick watching. And the Trojan fans take a big sigh of relief as the Trojans get out of it with only 2 runs allowed, which really has to feel like a luxury for Petaluma. That was just a horrible inning pitch by Brown. There's no other way to put it. He did not have any control of the strike zone, and all the Gaucho batters basically had to do was stand there and watch balls outside of the zone. Just makes you question more why Coach Salvatella decided to go with Sam Brown for the biggest game of Petaluma's season. But for Petaluma, they just have to look past that and focus on the now. Only down 2-0, and the Trojans will have to get runs off their nemesis and Mario Taramita to come back into this game. It will be interesting, though, to see if Salvatella does decide to bring in Julian Garahan for Petaluma pitching in the bottom second of this inning. There's no doubt about it. Early in this game, Casa has more energy. They have more fight, and they look like they want it more. And when your season's on the line in the NCS playoffs, That is really all that matters in these games. These teams are pretty even when you look at all 3 games that these teams have played. They've been decided in a couple innings. The first time these teams played, Gauchos took an early 2-0 lead. Petaluma took an early 5-0 lead, scored all 5 runs in the first inning. Never scored again in the game, but it was fine. The Gauchos only got 2 runs, and Julian Garahan, who came in relief, was dominant. Kind of opposite story when these teams played last week at Casa. Trojans were able to get 2 runs in the first inning off Taramia, but they never scored again, and the Gauchos mounted a 5-run third inning to get a victory there. The only outlier, as we head back out onto the field, is the Boris tournament game that was played about 200 miles away from Petaluma, but the rivals played there for the 2nd straight year, and Casa won easily 7-0 when Petaluma was no hit by Taramina. First pitch to senior captain Jack Gallagher for Petaluma, and there for a strike. Trojans will have to work from behind if they want to keep their season alive. That one just misses outside, 1-1. Gaucho fans hootering and hollering after every single pitch on both sides. And it really feels like a Gaucho home game right now. Though I am sitting in the Gaucho fan section, so that might influence it. But they've had a lot more to cheer about either way. 1-2 after some nice off speed. 6 games started for Taramina. He's never lost a game. And he only gives up just over 1 run in 9 innings. He's only pitched 31 innings, but when he's pitched, he's been dominant. And manager Chad Fillinger for the Gauchos has used him in their most important moments. 2-2 to Gallagher. Misses outside. Trojan senior captain has been on fire of late, hitting .392 over the year. And he seemingly has a multi-hit game every game this last month. He has worked a walk. Nice job by Gallagher, being patient. And for the 2nd straight inning, Petaluma reaches on a leadoff walk. Mario Zarco digs in now for Petaluma. The Trojans being knocked to ground into another double play like they did last inning. Zarco, another sophomore on these young Trojans, who have 8 underclassmen on their team. More than they have seniors. Just 6. First pitch to Zarco low. The sophomore batting .262 on the year with 16 hits and 12 batted in. 11 runs. A little bit of a fielding liability, so he's DHing once again from Petaluma as he has the second half of the season. Very good with the bat. That one catches the outside corner. 1-1 to Zarco. Gallagher at first with Casa Grande leading Petaluma 2-0. How many viewers we got, Jamie? Okay, hopefully you're able to hear me now, as we apologize for the brief audio malfunction. We're all good. And the question I was asking, and you couldn't hear me, was who was Petaluma bring back out onto the mound? And believe it or not, Sam Brown back on the mound for a second inning work after he walked 3 batters, hit a batter, and allowed 2 runs on just 1 hit in that first inning. Jim Salvatella saying, I don't want to use Julian Guerin and Mark Wolbert, who both pitched excellent baseball of late for Petaluma. Wolbert was warming up in the top half of the inning, but he decides to ride with the starter. Got to imagine it'd be a quick hook, though, if he walks one here. That one, bunt is laid down. Foul. It's Connor Klemenuk, the bottom of the order for the Gauchos, the number 9 hitter. Klemenuk batting .206 on the year with 7 hits. Brown just came in pitching 26 innings. He doesn't have a lot of experience. This year, he has pitched some gems this year. Pitched well against Casa, but he also pitched in 2 of Petaluma's best victories of the season. A victory against Vacaville, a top 20 team in the state, and a victory against Powerhouse Serra, a top 30 team in the state. He did allow runs, but Petaluma bats came in both of those games. A 7-5 victory over Vacaville and a 10-3 victory over Serra. Brown 2-1 behind on Klemenuk. That misses outside, 3-1. And it just looks like the same from the first inning so far. The Gauchos, one of the most patient teams in the area, are going to feast on a lack of control. That misses outside. Klemenuk pumped. He sprints down to first. Coach Salvatella gave Sam Brown one more chance, and he's not going to get another chance. Brown turning his back on the manager. He doesn't want to see it, but his afternoon is done. 4 walks, 1 hit batter, 2 runs given up, and not a good performance by the junior when he needed it. And it looks like it's going to be Wolbert who's going to come into pitch. Garahan was warming up in the top half of, or the last inning, I should say. Wolbert warming up in the top half, and the Trojans will go with the sophomore in Wolbert, who's had a fantastic second half of the season, and I thought would have been the favorite to start this game for Petaluma the way he's pitched of late. His best performance on May 1st in Petaluma's victory over Sonoma Valley, we already mentioned. We were there. That victory's on our YouTube channel. Wolbert was totally dominant. 6 innings. He gave up just 2 runs on just 4 hits, and he struck out 7 batters in that game. Where he comes in here not expecting probably to pitch in this game. Garahan was slated to come in as relief, but he's coming in early here, and we'll see how he deals with it. He's dealt with pressure very well over the course of the season. He has not pitched, however, against Casa so far this year in the 3 times these teams have faced off, and he's going to deal starting with the top of the order and Joe Lamp, with the Gauchos already leading 2-0 and a runner on first. In this win or go home game, winner moving on to the quarterfinals of NCS. The loser, they can finish off school, and for the seniors on these teams, they'll never play high school baseball again. It's just that simple. The crowds are showing the importance of this game. This field is packed. Some of the biggest crowds I have seen here at Abbey Field. Casa Grande students have especially come out for a big crowd. About 40 Gaucho students, I would say, have made their way over to the west side. There are some Trojan students. The Gaucho students outnumber them. Casa Grande baseball powerhouse living on at Casa, as the Gauchos hoping to win their first NCS championship. Since 2012, they made the title game 2 years ago. Joe Lamp takes a first pitch high from Wolbert. This is Wolbert's 9th appearance of the season as he throws a strike. 31 innings pitched, 3-1, a 3.39 ERA. He struck out 31. Doesn't have power, but he has excellent movement and pinpoint accuracy. That misses high. You worry about it. Sophomore pitcher, big moment coming in, elimination game. And he wasn't expected to pitch in this game. Was he mentally prepared? That misses high. 3-1 on Lamp, who struck out in the bottom of the first. Nobody out in this inning. Trojans badly need outs. That catches the outside of the zone. 3-2. Wolbert, one of the most stone-faced, calm guys you can see on a baseball diamond. He does not get rattled, and he does not show emotion. That just nicked off the bat of Lamp. It made a weird noise. I might think it might have hit the butt of the bat. Somehow Lamp stays alive. Gaucho star leads the team in hits, slugging, and home runs, batting .342 on the year. Headed to UC Davis next year to play baseball. Payoff pitch from Wolbert. Lamp goes way down to get this and pops it sky high in the air. Long run for Zarko and makes the catch in left field. That ball had some spin on it and was tailing off toward the third baseline, and an excellent job by Zarko, who's playing left this afternoon, to run it down. One down for Petaluma as Klemenok stays on first, and Nick Taramia digs in for Casa Grande. The Gaucho came around to score after he walked last inning. Part of 2 runs for Casa Grande. First pitch just misses low. The strike zone hasn't been big today. And Mario Taramia, twin brother of Nick, has dealt with that too. He has 2 walks so far. So Wolbert throws back to first. Klemenok dives back safely. It's a beautiful Friday afternoon, about 65 degrees. So that catches the outside of the corner. Wispy clouds. It's mostly a light wind, though there's been some big gusts with another storm coming in tomorrow. But one day of sunshine in between 2 big storms here in mid-May. Just enough time to get in a baseball game. Badly needed with this NCS schedule backlogged. Here's a pickle. It's not going to even be a pickle because it goes off the helmet of Klemenok. Well, the Trojans had Klemenok out by a mile, and Garrett Lewis threw it right off the helmet of Klemenok, trying to get it to Bertolucci at short. Or Zimmerman playing short, my bad. Just unlucky there for Petaluma, but the Gauchos will take an extra base, with Klemenok now in scoring position. Wolbert takes a long look behind him in the 1-1. Misses outside. Seven batted in on the season for the sophomore. This is popped foul and just avoids the ticket booth. Some other fans mingling in. That one was going hot too. Nowhere is safe around Abbey Field with when big hitters stride to the plate. Seen balls hit onto Webster Street, the track, a quad, swimming pool. So Wolbert misses outside. They've even moved some swimming meets this year during some baseball games because they were worried about a swimmer competing and getting hit right on the head. Off speed, just outside. Taramino walks. First walk issued by Wolbert, and now there's 2 on, 1 out. And Wolbert's going to have to work out of trouble again in this very slow-moving game so far. Bailey digs in for the Gauchos. He walked and came around to score in the first. Petaluma pitchers pitching 3.39 ERA on the season. They've been very good for much of the season, but as the pitching has gone, as has Petaluma gone. The Trojans have had their worst runs of the season, especially their 7-game losing streak in the middle of the year when their pitching suffered. Poor pitching early by Petaluma, and they are suffering. 2-0. Misses way high. Wolbert got the first out, but now looking a lot. He's found a loss of control. Switches balls, hopes that will help. It's now 3-0. Bailey, another patient member of the Gaucho lineup. That is walk number 14 on this season for Bailey. 5 players on the Gauchos have 12-plus walks. They are so patient, and it's been pretty easy this afternoon, standing in there and watching balls fly all over the place. 381 on base percentage for Casa. That has been a big part of their second half surge to a VVAL title and winning 6 out of the last 7 for Casa. Bases loaded, 1 out. Bases were loaded in the first with 1 out, and after 2 runs had already scored, Brown was somehow able to work out of it. Wolbert's going to have to continue the magic act in the second. The Trojans holding on by a thread right now, and that threads their season. Santander takes outside. He struck out in the first. Misses low, and it's 2-0. Wolbert needs to get ahead in these counts. Casa will be patient, they'll wait, and they're confident enough with their bats that they can get ahead, and even if the count works back their way, they're disciplined enough. Big swing and a miss there. Forget about discipline on that swing. Santander was trying to hit that one to the ocean. 2-1 on the hefty junior. He has 14 walks on the season as well. Came in leading the Gauchos on that on the season. 449 on base percentage. Third for Casa on their team. 3-1 and nowhere to put him for Wolbert. He's just got to pipe one down the strike zone. His pinpoint accuracy has not been here early in this game. That misses outside. Santander will walk. 3 walks in a row by Mark Wolbert. Jim Salvatella nodding in despair right now at home plate. Petaluma cannot throw strikes. 4 walks issued in this inning. Casa still just has 1 hit in this game, but they have walked an absurd 7 times and been hit once. First pitch, Mitch is outside. Wolbert came in not having much of an issue in terms of walks. Has had good control. His strikeout ratio nearly doubling his walk ratio with 31 strikeouts on the season. Came in out of the blue, not expecting it. He hasn't looked ready, and he slams the glove in frustration. Wolbert never shows emotion, but he just has, and Coach Salvatella sees that as a red flag. He might just need to burn through another pitcher. Julian Garahan had good success against Casa Grande when these teams first played. After Gavin Ochoa pitched a couple innings, Garahan came in and pitched 5 shutout innings to slow down Casa. 2-0 and still nowhere to put them. Petaluma's going to have to throw some pitches over the strike zone, or this game is really going to get away from them. There is a 10-run mercy rule in NCS, too, if it gets that out of hand. Winner moves on to face the winner of Redwood and Bethel in the quarterfinals of NCS. We'll try to get you a score in that game and all the NCS scores going around today. Only one game was completed on Wednesday in the Division II bracket, as the number 2 seed Washington staved off Newark Memorial in a thriller 5-4 in 8 innings. As Washington of Fremont moves on to the quarterfinals. 7 other games all today, starting concurrently at 5 o'clock. That misses outside. It's 3-0 on Waltz. He's the one Gaucho to have a hit in this game, an RBI single under right to score the 2 runs in the first. Wolbert pitches an angry strike, 3-1. A long road back, and the strike zone has gotten as small as a ping pong ball for Wolbert, just as it did for Brown in the first. That misses low. They've walked home another run. Gauchos add another. Coach Salvatella has seen enough. 4 walks in a row by Mark Wolbert as he's walked the batters around, and it looks like it's going to be try number 3. Just a disaster for Petaluma pitching in this game in the worst possible moment. Here comes Julian Garahan sprinting to the mound for Petaluma. He warmed up in the top half of the first, expected to pitch today, and maybe that will be to his advantage. Still just 1 out in this inning, and the Trojans are going to have to work out of it, or this game could get ugly fast. Garahan's had an excellent season. He's been the best pitcher for Petaluma over the course of the year. 5-1, just 1 bad start on the season. That was against Vintage in a game we live streamed. Besides that, he's been really very good in every single start this year, or in appearances too. He's come in to have 2 saves, coming in relief a couple times. 12 appearances overall, and a 2.26 ERA for the lanky 6'5", 180-pound sophomore. Opposing batters hitting 340 or reaching base 349 against them. And another batter who has a good strikeout to walk ratio, 28 strikeouts and just 11 walks. You look at Petaluma's overall walks to strikes ratio, just 95 walks on the year, 109 strikeouts, yet they've walked 8 and gotten just 4 outs so far in this ballgame. It has been completely uncharacteristic of Petaluma pitching. The sophomore Garahan, who's also very calm and cool and collected, see if he can rescue things for Petaluma. It's still only 4-0. It's not unimaginable to come back against. Trojans can easily mount a big number in an inning. They have the bats to do so, but they have to limit it to a certain amount or it becomes inattainable, and especially mentally, it's hard to come from behind. And you know the Gauchos are only growing in confidence right now, just the more walks and the bigger the lead. Bottom half of the order for the Gauchos will start off Garahan's afternoon as Petaluma has used about as many pitchers as they have outs. 4 outs and now 3 pitchers used. That is never a good sign, especially in an elimination game against your crosstown rival. First pitch misses low. I mean, the umpire hasn't been helping today by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know where that one missed. But Petaluma has it. Points missed badly. Brown was through a couple wild pitches. Wolbert was clearly missing. That's an excellent pitch from Garahan. Good speed and piped it down the middle. Taylor batting 197 on the year. And guess what? He walked in the first inning. He fouls that one off his shoulder. Appears okay. Walks away a little gingerly. 1-2. A Trojan pitcher ahead is a sight to see. A welcome sight for sore eyes for purple and white fans. 1-2. Bases loaded. 1 out as some cloud cover starting to come in over Abbey Field. This one is popped foul and out of play. Gauchos coming off a 9-3 victory over American Canyon last Friday. The winner of that game was going to share the VVAL title with Sonoma Valley and Petaluma, and the Gauchos came through with the victory against the Wolves, which was really unbelievable. Casa started VVAL 0-2 on the year. It managed to march all the way back from a horrific start to share a league pennant. Nasty off speed on the outside corner. Garahan's pumped up. Big fist pump. He snaps at the ball again. He's not happy what he's seen so far. 2 down. Nick Orella steps up for Casa. And Garahan trying to get out of this inning. He just needs 1 more out. Looks like we have some comments in the live chat. Nothing notable, I'm being told. It's in there for a first pitch strike. 0-1. Orella, the center fielder today for the Gauchos, with 15 hits on the season. He's reached base 41% of the time as he fouls it straight back. 0-2, and Garahan has come in here. First 2 batters worked ahead of them. No walks. It's a little bit more like you expect pitching. Bottom half of the second, 4-0 Casa Grande. The Gauchos have 1 hit, but 8 walks. That misses high, 1-2. Garahan shakes off the pitch. Second one good, 1-2. Again, foul bad. Good battle here by Aurelia, I should say. Young Gaucho team. They've grown up between the East Side fans' eyes. Their slow start to the season. Mentioned in the open, both teams have had a lot of ups and downs. Casa lost 4 out of their first 6. But they mount 2 more runs in this inning and lead 4-0. Nice play by Garahan. He comes in and gets 2 strikeouts, but the Gauchos add 2 more runs, and they lead 4-0 as we head to the 3rd inning. Maybe Petaluma has finally found a pitcher out there that can at least not walk batters, but the road back for Petaluma is long against Taramina, who's, again, only gives up 1 run in 9 innings. He's been dominant this year. He's been dominant against Petaluma. I think the hardest part for him is both times he's come out to pitch here in the 2nd inning and now the 3rd. He's been sitting on the bench for very extended periods of time, watching walk after walk after walk. Now, that's very hard for a pitcher, especially in a big game with a lot of pressure. We'll see if Petaluma can take advantage of their ineptitude pitching-wise for that advantage with the bats, with Casa leading 4-0 here as we head to the top of the 3rd. Petaluma started the game with Sam Brown. He struck out the first batter, then promptly everything just fell apart there. He walked 3 in a row, and then a big 2 RBI double by the Gauchos brought in 2 runs. Brown worked out of things, but walked the first batter in the top half of the 2nd. Manager Jim Salvatella for Petaluma pulled him, brought in Mark Wolbert. After Wolbert got the first out, he walked 4 in a row, including walking 2 runners in to score to make it 4-0. Julian Garahan came in for Petaluma and struck out the first 2 batters. That's that question again of why did Coach Salvatella decide to start a junior who had little experience on the year and statistically had not pitched that well this year for Petaluma compared to Garahan, who had been dominant for Petaluma. Garahan's going to lead things off for Petaluma. Jim Salvatella likes his energy. Petaluma has not played with any energy at all. They've come out looking flat, rusty, and nervous. Casa has looked bubbly, confident, and very patient. Garahan has not batted much at all this year. This is only his 3rd at bat of the season. He's quickly behind 0-2. Third-year manager for Petaluma trying to do something to insert some fire on the purple and white. 0-2 on the sophomore. Garahan stays alive. Taran Mina trying to continue his dominance on Petaluma. He's now pitched 16 innings this year against Petaluma and allowed just 5 hits, 2 runs. He's completely mastered these batters. Right down the middle, and he sends Garahan back to the dugout, 1 down. Back to the top of the order for Petaluma and Mark Wolbert, who came in and just could not pitch in the top half of this inning. He reached, though, with a base hit in the top half of the first. That misses outside. He's hitting .304 on the year, 5 hits, .389 on base percentage. That's in there for strike 1 and 1. The body language for Wolbert, not good at all. Just lowered his head there in disgust at that call, or maybe him taking the pitch. Rare to see as he steps out now. Wolbert comes into this game on a 9-game hitting streak. Last time he didn't record a hit was against Mario Taramillo when he pitched a 7-inning complete game no-hitter against Petaluma at the Boris tournament. That's fouled back out of play. One of the most remarkable games of the season, probably the most memorable so far for Casa Grande. Both teams came in with 2 losses. The Boris Classic and Sac State, the de facto state championship, with some of the top teams all across Northern California there. And the Gauchos completely mauled Petaluma as Wolbert grounds this ball to third. Bobbled by Bailey. He's lost it. And the second error for the senior third baseman is Wolbert Ruich. Surprising couple of mistakes for the experienced senior third baseman. He's one of the leaders of this team. An exceptional boys basketball player, and they're one of their captains as well, but he's been very shaky at the hot corner today. Wolbert reaches, and here's Garrett Lewis with 1 out, 1 on. Same position in the first. Lewis grounded into a double play. That misses outside. All the Trojans need is a couple runs, and they're right back in this ballgame. A long ways to go. That one grounded hard to third. That's a beautiful play by Bailey. Throw to second, and then the throw to first is over the head of Taylor. They go down and tagged Lewis, trying to say he turned, but he is safe. So the Gauchos get 1. Excellent play by Noah Bailey. He had a much tougher play at third base to make it on a short hop, but as they rule Lewis safe, was able to make a laser throw to second, and if not for the poor throw by Klemenok at short, or at second, Gauchos would have gone to double play again. Chad Fillinger's not happy with the call, and he's come out to hear an explanation from the umpire. But he'll only head back to the dugout disappointed. So 2 outs. Here's Sam Brown. And Petaluma needs something from the big Trojan slugger, especially to make up for his pitching ineptitude. 3 home runs on the season for Brown, including a massive game when the Trojans last took the diamond last Wednesday in Napa against Vintage. Brown takes low. Nice stop by Santander. 2 hits, 1 run, 1 RBI. The Trojans VVAL clinching victory over Vintage, a 5-2 victory to get some revenge on the Crushers. This one is hit hard and deep, way back in right field. See you tomorrow. Sam Brown, a 2-run shot right when we talked about it. The doctor is in the house. He orders the right medicine to get Petaluma back in this game. 4-2 Gauchos. And a massive call now on that end, that play by Lewis where he may have or may not have took a lead from first and then went off the bag where they tagged him. Gauchos thought he was out. Umpires didn't see it that way, and Brown launches a pinch over his favorite right field fence. Another no-doubter for Sam Brown. 4 home runs on the season. They've all come in the second half of the season. Just the third and fourth runs Petaluma's hit off Taormina all season. And they cut the lead in half. Petaluma now has more hits in this game than Casa does, 2-1. Yet they trail 4-2. Gallagher takes outside 1-1 to the Petaluma senior captain. He walked in the second inning. Batting .392 as this is a slow grounder to short. A tough play in time. Gauchos get out of the inning, but Sam Brown gets Petaluma back in this ballgame with another massive shot from the big slugger over the right field fence. Wanted to say that makes up for his pitching in the first inning, but it certainly was some medicine needed for a Trojan team that had nothing going. We said these Trojan bats have the capability for big innings and big hits. Brown shows it there, and the lead's cut in half. It'll be interesting to see if Julian Garahan can now settle in for Petaluma. Pitched very well in those last 2 batters of the second inning, and Petaluma now gets a jolt with 2 runs on the home run from Brown. Petaluma settled back into this game, a 2-run deficit, certainly very reasonable for the Trojans to come behind on, and the pressure is back on the Gauchos to respond now as we head to the back of the third. And this just kind of another bizarre game between these two. I think all 4 times these teams have played this year, there's been weird twists and turns in games, odd plays, but it's really the way of rivalry baseball. You throw the records, you throw the trends out the roof because it's arch rivals going at it, these 2 elite powerhouse programs, and it's an elimination NCS game. You just throw everything out the roof and you have to play your best cool and calm baseball. Trojans were all out of sorts in the first 2 innings. Will they settle in, or will the Gauchos continue to be patient and persistent at the plate and really look like the team that wants this game more? Garahan will face Shemick, the number 9 hitter, to lead things off for the Gauchos in the bottom of the third. The 4th matchup of Egg Bowl baseball between these two. But this time it's winner go or go home. Garahan, we mentioned it earlier, pitched very well against the Gauchos all the way back on March 13th, 2 months ago, when these teams first played. Petaluma's 5-3 victory. Garahan came in the 3rd inning, worked his way out of a jam with just 2 runs, and then after that, nearly perfect. Didn't allow another run the rest of the way. Was the big star, really, of that game for Petaluma. It was a big confidence booster for him on his season. He's been so masterful since that brilliant performance against the Gauchos. Quickly 0-2 on Shemick. That one is fouled off out of play. 0-2. Garahan was on the freshman team last year, but he will have another strikeout here as the pass ball is picked up by Gallagher calmly, and he throws out Shemick at first. Already 3 strikeouts and 3 batters for Garahan, and there's 1 out, as here is Klemenuk. Garahan has his now 29 strikeouts on the season. Mentioned he's been so consistent every time he goes out there. Only 1 start that he's given above 3 earned runs. That was against Vintage when Petaluma was in their 7-game losing streak slump. The ups and downs Petaluma has had this year, it's really, I think, been wild for both teams that they come away with a share of the VVAL pennant, because I don't think either team has played up to their expectations this year, because they've struggled for long stretches of this year. Both teams went 1-3 at the Boris tournament. I don't think either team expected to go in and really struggle with the elite tournament at Sac State, and it's questionable whether they'll get an invite next year because both teams did not play very well there. They were both in slumps. That misses outside, 2-0. Garahan is not happy. 2-1. Garahan not happy with the strike zone there. Gesturing at the umpire in frustration. No one on, one out, bottom third. As that's gotta hurt. Shemek fouls it off his, Klemenok fouls it off his foot. 2-2 on the Gaucho. This one sliced towards first. Ball will just go foul. Just skip to the right of the first base bag. It would have been a tough play, too, for Lewis. Ball had all sorts of spin. Eighth-seeded Gauchos versus the ninth-seeded Trojans. But after big storms on Wednesday and Thursday, the game early this morning moved here to Petaluma. It's a ground ball to Brown. He's got a long throw, but an excellent fielder is the freshman, 2 down. Casa Grande baseball diamond needs about 2 days to clear up after rain. If the Gauchos win this game and have another home game, potentially in the future, I'm not sure when they'd be able to play at their home diamond if they would the rest of the year with more rain coming in tomorrow. And it's just an outdated field on the east side. It gets waterlogged so easily, and lakes form on the infield. The outfield is a muddy mess. And they had already planned before the rain, as soon as the game was moved from Wednesday to Friday, that there was a good chance this game was going to be played here at Abbey Field, where the drainage is much better. The outfield's a little slippery, but the infield is pristine. It's really fine conditions. After an inch and a half of rain in the last 2 days. Popped up foul. Jacobs is going to make the catch. Few steps into foul territory. How about that? 1, 2, 3 inning, and we move on to the bottom of the third. Gaucho fans grow a little bit quieter here, and you can feel the shift in this rivalry game here at Abbey Field. Garahan has came in and righted the ship for Petaluma, and the Trojans have certainly gained a big boost of confidence. They're right back into this game. As bad as Petaluma has played and virtually handed Casa Grande 4 runs in the first 2 innings, the Trojans are right in this game, just 2 runs behind Casa, and the pressure is on the Gauchos. It's the higher seed, the hotter team coming in, and the more confident team to hold off Petaluma. As this game gets later, it will certainly, it will certainly be interesting to see if Casa can deal with that pressure in this win or home game. So you can see a big crowd behind me. A lot of Gaucho fans in the stands have made the brutal trip across town. It's about 20-minute drive if you're all the way over at Casa on a Friday afternoon, but they might outnumber the Petaluma fans here today. They've been making a lot of noise and cheering, and they've had lots to cheer about early in this game. As Chad Fillinger's squad has brought their focus. They've won 6 out of their last 7, have the Gauchos. And for a Trojan team that in an up and down end to the regular season, they have not come in with full confidence so far to this ball game. Mario Taramia has pitched well for Casa Grande, but he certainly hasn't been spectacular. Petaluma has reached base every inning so far against them. Taramia 2 walks, 2 hits giving up, including a 2-run home run by Sam Brown, and there's also been 2 errors by Noah Bailey at third base for Casa Grande. Mario Zarco will lead things off for Petaluma here in the top half of the 4th, with the Gauchos, the home team, as the higher seed. Zarco struck out in the first. First pitch is fouled back. This one will just get out of play behind the backstop. Zarco with 16 hits on the year. One of the reasons that you see Zimmerman and Krupp called up for this game. couple sophomores normally get called up to the varsity level, get that experience, and all three players that were called up last year, Wolbert, Zarko, getting prominent experience now, and they got good experience last year getting to play in the SCL tournament. One game in the NCS playoffs before Petaluma was eliminated. Bertolucci was that last player called up last year, and they all played both the SCL tournament, and some of them in the NCS lost El Cerrito for Petaluma in the first round. Now being thrust into a starting role in NCS. Petaluma team that lost 11 seniors last year, 6 returners on the Trojans out of 17, 8 underclassmen, just 6 seniors, of which only 2 of them are returners. Casa similar, they lost 11 seniors as well from last year. A very good team. A nasty pitch from Taramina, he smiles. That one just missed high. It would certainly look like it floated below the purple P on Zarko's left breast. Zarko swings at this pitch into right field, a base hit. Taramina shaking his head, thought he had a strikeout. Instead, for the 4th straight inning, Petaluma's leadoff batter has reached. The Trojans doing an excellent job leading off innings and reaching base, and it's certainly putting the pressure on the sophomore pitcher. 17th hit of the season for the Trojan left fielder. Sam Jacobs steps in, with still no one down. Jacobs swings at this pitch, it will get past Bailey, a base hit. 2 runners on, no one out. And Taramina in his biggest jam so far this afternoon. Joe Brown strides to the plate in a huge moment for Petaluma and Casa Grande. Middle of this ball game, and the Trojans have come back quickly to make this a ball game in this do-or-die rivalry affair. Brown swings at the first pitch and pops it up foul. It gets out of play. Brown reached on a walk in the second inning. Was stranded at second. Trojans got runners at second and third. In the second with 2 outs. Krupp struck out. Brown shows bunt, pulls back, and it's low. Zarko at second. The senior Jacobs, him and Gallagher, the only 2 returning seniors for Petaluma. Jacobs at first. Taramina steps off and looks back at Zarko, who's got excellent speed at second. Should be able to score on a good base hit. Trojans lost in a heartbreaker last year in the first round of the NCS. A 10-inning defeat to El Cerrito, 3-2. In a wild game, Petaluma was down to its last strike in that game. Danny Marzo had an RBI single to tie things up, and then it would go all the way to the 10th inning before the Gauchos of El Cerrito got a run across. They would go on to beat Casa in the quarterfinals, go all the way to the semis. 3-1. Brown pulls back the bunt, but that is a strike, and it's worked to a full count. Big pitch here to Brown. Nobody out. And it's now 2-2 with 2 on. Trojans trail 4-2 in the top of the 4th. Live here from Petaluma's Abbey Field, Friday afternoon. Time is called. And a balk is ruled. Taramina is furious. Gave a word to the ump there, and second-year manager Chad Fillinger of the Gauchos is not too pleased with this either. A couple calls now have gone against the Gauchos. Both Trojan runners will advance on the balk. Brown was just waiting and waiting for the pitch. And they ruled Taramina finally stepped off and while starting his motion. Two runners in scoring position, and now 2-2 on the freshman slugger for Petaluma. Misses outside. Full count. Gaucho fans expressing their displeasure with that call. Krupp on deck for Petaluma. The payoff pitch coming from the sophomore pitcher. This one is hit hard past the diving lamp. Zarko will score. Jacobs holds it third as the ball is thrown in quickly, but it's an RBI single for Joe Brown. Not been a great season for the Trojan freshman, but his 13th hit of the season is one of his biggest. 4-3, and just like that, the lead has been cut to 1. Unbelievable stuff here at Abbey Field. Full team meeting at the mound now with Ternamina and the rest of the Gaucho infield and manager Chad Fillinger. Jacobs at third for Petaluma. Brown now at first. Still nobody out in this 4th inning. Everything that went wrong for Petaluma, the Gauchos have unraveled these last 2 innings. Not in terms of bad plays, but I think they've just been frustrated by a couple calls by the umpires, who are some of the best in the business, umpiring a postseason NCS game, but they've been frustrated, and the Trojans have come together with some big hits. They have had to earn it. 3 hits so far in this inning. It was just the 5th RBI of the season for Joe Brown. Here is Will Krupp with still nobody down as he fouls it off right into the chest protector of the ump. Man, he took that one smoothly. Didn't even flinch. Oh, one on Krupp, who doesn't have a base hit this season. He has not even reached base this season on the varsity level. But this is only his 4th plate appearance. He pops this up sky high towards the student section. Look out. A Gaucho student has been hit, but she's laughing hysterically, so I think she's all right. Hit right into the Gaucho student section. And out of play. But it appears everyone's all right as everything settles down here. Well, that's scary when a ball comes near you sky high in the air like that. And the Gaucho student section not joining the baseball team anytime soon. They were all ducking their heads. 0-2, meanwhile on Krupp, who's trying to stay alive as this one is bounced up the middle to short. Tough play. He steps on the bag at second, not in time at first. Our Gaucho fans going wild as Krupp runs it out, and this game is tied. Brown will score from third on an RBI single from Krupp, and boy, he did his job. Not the best hitter for Petaluma in the 8th spot, but all he does is get the ball in play. One down, Krupp at first. Still a lot more work due here for Ternamina as the Trojans have worked their way all the way back. You can see the frustration on the Gauchos' faces. Catcher Cole Sandander takes off his mask, and there's pain written on his face. The Gauchos stole 4 runs, with the Trojans issuing 8 walks and a hit batter in the first inning. 4 runs came around on just 1 hit in those first 2 innings. But a 2-run home run by Sam Brown and a couple of base hits strung together here from Petaluma have worked their way back. First pitch strike. The Gaucho fans cheer sarcastically. Garahan struck out to end the 3rd inning. He's pitched 5 perfect batters so far when he'll head back to pitch in the 5th. That's in there for a strike, 0-2. Artemina looking mad out there. Remember, he's only a sophomore. He doesn't act like it much. He has so much experience, but this is his first year on varsity. Off speed, K's up Garahan. And the side, no, that's 2 down, excuse me. So back to the top of the order. And Mark Wolbert, who's had a fantastic afternoon so far. In terms of hitting, not in terms of pitching. But a walk and a base hit so far for Wolbert. Krupp still at first, 2 down. All knotted at 4 in the top of the 4th. As this wild game so far restarts. The 4th edition, as a lot of 4s on the board, 4th edition of this Baseball Egg Bowl this year. 4-4, top 4. The winner of this one going to the Final 8 in NCS Division 2. Big swing and a miss from Wolbert, 1-1. It's wild, the underclassmen that have played such a vital role in this game. We've seen so many sophomores on both sides be big factors. Krupp, the big RBI fielder's choice. Garahan's come out and pitch well. Taranamina, Wolbert. Krupp going as Wolbert pops it up sky high into the air in left field, and the catch is made. Side is retired. But the Trojans, 4 hits, 2 runs, and this game is tied. What a performance. What a performance by Petaluma. Jamie on to the bottom of the 4th in this rivalry game. What a game it has been, but the quick start from Casa looked like this could be a lopsided win for the Gauchos. Petaluma answering and really coming back from a team that looked dead. They had nothing. They had no energy out there. They couldn't throw strikes, but Sam Brown's 2-run home run, if Petaluma does win and advance, is the pitch to remember, or the hit to remember. A big blast over the right field fence, and then a big inning there by Petaluma. They look like they found a pitcher in Julian Garahan, and wild momentum swings in this one. The momentum is on Garahan's side. The momentum has been really like the season, I think, for both of these teams. We've seen both Casa and Petaluma have wild swings over the course of their season, long losing streaks, big winning streaks. In this game, it was Casa early, Petaluma now, and as we start moving towards the latter stages, it's up to anyone who wants to move on to the NCS quarterfinals and keep their season alive. And for both teams, I think both teams believe they can make runs and beat any team in this bracket. The winner likely faces the number 1 seed, the Redwood Giants, and both teams have actually already beaten Redwood this season. Can we get it back on the field, please? We're going to throw it back onto the field in a minute as Garahan settles in for his 2nd full inning of work. Nick Taranamina swings at the first pitch. Excellent job here by now director, producer, and filming Jamie Cantieri. She's doing 3 things at once as we bring this game live to you here on the Trojan Live YouTube channel. Garahan is piping pitches all over the strike zone. There's power that you can hear a little grunt from the lanky sophomore on every pitch. That one just missed, though it was the exact same place the last pitch was, which is why Casa fans have been upset. The consistency has been suspect. The 1-2. Bounces low off the mask of Garahan, and it bounced right over the fence. That took a wild carom. And into the stands, everyone is safe. Appreciate the comments in the live chat. It's both Trojan and Gaucho fans tuning into this one. That bounces low. That's 16 viewers tuning in to this vital game. One team going home, one team moving on, and it's been a while since these teams have faced off in the NCS playoffs. This is a base hit up the middle. A massive hit for the Gauchos, coming courtesy of Nick Teradamina, the twin brother, picking up for his twin pitcher who struggled that last inning. And it was a massive cheer from the Gaucho fans here. Everything's gone against the green and gold the last inning and a half. Casa can just scrape across even one run in this inning. That would really turn things around. Switch the momentum again as Bailey launches this one into left field, a base hit. Back-to-back base hits for the Gauchos off Garahan, and Casa has answered the call. My goodness. It's top of the order, so dangerous for the Gauchos. The top five, they all have double-digit walks on the season. Almost all of them hitting over 300 on the year, and they're all hot coming in, with the Gaucho bats scoring at least 5 runs in their last 6 out of their last 7 games. Gaucho pitching is not deep, but they've relied on their batting second half of the season to get to a winning record, a VVL title, and an 8th seed in NCS. This pitch is swung on and deep, way back, and it will roll all the way to the wall. 1 run will score, the second run right behind, and it's a 2 RBI double for Casa Grande to retake the lead. A massive hit as the Gaucho bench and fans going mad. What a response by Casa Grande after the game tied up. 2 base hits, and then a massive double by Cole Santander, blasted to the deepest part of the ballpark. Noah Bailey was so pumped up, he almost passed his teammate, Nick Taranamina, running around the base path. 6-4, and still no outs in this inning. Elijah Waltz settles in for the Gauchos, trying to keep things going. Garahan was so good, getting out of the second, 2 strikeouts, and then a 1-2-3 third. He'll have to find himself again. First pitch catching the outside corner. Every time you think this game couldn't get more wilder, it takes it up a notch. That bounces low. It's off the mask of Gallagher. He has no idea where the ball is. And it advances Santander down to third. Garahan's just bounced a couple balls in this inning. The moment, the energy, the intensity, just getting to him maybe a little. If he can calm down, just get in the zone and kind of phase everything out. When he's done that this year, he has been virtually unstoppable. He has all the tools to be an elite ace for a high school team and a college team in the future, Garahan. That misses outside. 2-1. He's got the pitching repertoire as well. Clouds settling over Abbey Field as the sun will disappear likely all the way to Monday, with rain forecasted the entire weekend. Big swing and a miss from Waltz. 2-2. A sac fly or even anything in play would likely score Santander from third. The Gauchos would love to add another run. That ball is low and trapped by Gallagher. A nice trap. Full count. Garahan has not walked a runner yet. It's been refreshing for the start of this ball game, if you're a Petaluma fan. Full count. This game, which is already an hour and a half long, but still in the fourth, as it bounces in front of Waltz. That's a painful at bat for Garahan, and there is still nobody out in this inning. The Gauchos have put 2 5-run innings on Petaluma over the course of this year. Had a 5-run inning in the Boris tournament and then a 5-run inning when these teams played last Tuesday. The Gauchos 5-2 victory. This inning could put up a crooked number. Garahan can't find some outs, and manager Jim Salvatella has to ride him. There is no one else reliable left in the bullpen for Petaluma. Pops sky high into the air on the first pitch. Jacobs will call everyone and make the catch. 1 down. Not a good at bat there by Taylor. First pitch swinging and a lazy fly ball. A big first out for Garahan. The quarterfinals scheduled for tomorrow afternoon, but the forecast predicting 100% chance of rain, heavy rain, starting at about 10 a.m., 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. I think the chances are slim to none that we see any baseball played tomorrow or softball in any NCS game. Petaluma softball in the NCS quarterfinals. Their game has already been scheduled for Monday. There's supposed to be a break in the rain. There could be more rain again on Tuesday. Games tomorrow is rained out. The quarterfinals will likely be played Monday. It's 1-0 on Nick Orella. Runners on the corners. Off speed, catches the outside corner of the strike zone. Garahan, one of the friendliest guys on this Petaluma baseball team. Every single game before the start of it manages to find me, just to say hello, give me a fist pump. Going to go over the scouting report as this ball is lined past Brown at third. Santander will score, and it's 7-4. A clutch oppo base hit by Orella. His first base hit of the game. And the Gauchos extend the lead to 3. 1 out and runners at second and first. As here is Shemek. First pitch by Garahan, Mitch high. Temperatures are plunging here with the disappearance of the sun. Wind picking up as well. Blowing from first to third base at about 10 miles per hour with gusts up to 20. Big swing and a miss by Shemek. That has been the biggest issue for Casa. They've just taken some ridiculously, absurdly big hacks. With some especially high cheese from Petaluma when the Trojans have looked upwards of the zone, added some heat. The Gauchos have been chasing. And that hits the inside calf of Shemek. Bases loaded, 1 out. And it's just been a uncomfortable inning for Petaluma. 1 walk, 1 hit batter, a big double by Santander, and a pair of 3 base hits, in fact. Connor Klemenok, and then the top of the order for the Gauchos after this, who have been fantastic so far in this game. Working walks and reaching base. Klemenok swings at the first pitch as it's fouled off the mask of Gallagher. But senior Trojan captain is tough. Didn't even flinch. Petaluma came in. The disappointing loss that cost is still in their heads, but had recent success. Winning 6 out of their last 7. That broke losing 8 out of their last 9 before that. This ball is popped sky high into the air. Gallagher racing over and just can't make the catch as the ball hits off the fence. Oh, so close to running that one down, which would have been a huge out for Petaluma. Petaluma needs outs, and they need them badly. 0-2 in the bottom of the order, and Klemenok, who is only hitting .206 on the year with just 7 hits. He's batted in 4. Misses outside 1-2, but plenty of pitches to work with for Garahan, though he has nowhere to put them. Petaluma trying to win their first NCS game in 2 years. They defeated San Lorenzo 2 years ago in a first-round game before falling to Ukiah in the quarterfinals. This ball is hit to short. It could be 2. They will not turn it at first, and the Gauchos add another run. England has moved into shortstop for Petaluma. Just didn't get that ball out of the glove fast enough. Jacobs didn't get a smooth enough transition. And the Trojans get an out, but the Gauchos get a run. And it is 8-4 in the RBI fielder's choice by Klemenok. Base is still loaded, and here is Santander. I'm sorry, here is Lamp. Trying to light the lamp again for the Gauchos. 4 runs in this 4th inning. He takes the first pitch strike. Lamp, the senior, trying to avoid playing his final game in a Casa jersey. Graduation coming up for both these schools. Casa's in 2 weeks from this afternoon. Petaluma's 2 weeks from tomorrow morning. Lamp tries the suicide squeeze, but it goes foul, and it's now 0-2. Not a bad idea. Brown having to play back at third. You keep Orella, who's at third, close enough on his base. Goes foul, though, and I would not assume Lamp would risk the bunt now behind 0-2. Garahan's looked better second half of this inning. He just lost his focus early. And these hot Gaucho bats made him pay. That's low. It bounces. And Klemenok races down to second. He was going anyways, and it became an easy stolen base for the speedy Gauchos, who've very aggressive on the base pass. We've seen that this year. That bounces low, and Gallagher again has to stop it off the chest. Garahan says nice to him. Man, he's been a human backstop. He's getting beat up by Trojan pitchers all over the place. Gallagher's going to have some bruises tonight to deal with. And the senior captain has taken his role so nobly, calling the pitches and strikes to your varsity player. The heartbeat and soul of Petaluma. That bounces low again, and again stopped by Gallagher. 3 pitches in a row, bounced in front of the plate. Garahan does have a spot to put Lamp. If he reaches, the Gauchos will work their way all the way around the order. Payoff pitch. Bounces low again. Rinse and repeat. My goodness. So the bases are loaded again. It's been a frustrating inning for Garahan, who pitched perfect for the first 5 batters he faced. And this game might get close to the sunset the way this is going. Walks, hits, pitching changes. First pitch misses outside. We are nearing the mark of where often a game would finish. We still have 3 more innings at least to play, and NCS games have a habit of going to extra innings. 1-0 on Nick Taranamina, who started off this inning with a base hit about 15 minutes ago. All the way around the order, what an inning it's been for the Gauchos. 1-1. 17 hits on the year for the sophomore. Just played a prominent role in the 2-hole today. Takes low. I don't know if Garahan's tired. He's had a lot of pitches in this inning. He's nervous, but time and time again, these balls are bouncing low. And he just seems to have lost a lot of his pinpoint accuracy. Did come into this game expecting to be a reliever and not expecting to come in the second inning. It just misses outside. I do not know where it missed. But now it's Petaluma fans' time to be frustrated with the balls and strikes. 3-1 and nowhere to put them. It misses low. Garahan's walked 3 in this inning, and he's hit 1. Casa has 3 hits, but Garahan, maybe he was spending too much time around Sam Brown and Mark Wolbert because he has caught the base on balls bug. 5 runs in the inning, and the 3rd time this season, Casa has put a 5 spot on Petaluma. Hard to win games with the crooked number. 2 outs and still the bases loaded as Bailey takes a first pitch outside. My goodness. At least the umpire's not giving any pitcher any favors. But man, the strike zone has been so small today. Garahan came into this game with just 11 walks on the season. He's thrown nearly a quarter of that in the 44 innings he'd pitched coming into today. That misses high. 3-0. Again, there's nowhere to put them. Petaluma has walked home 4 batters now in this game. If that's not an NCS record, I don't know what is. The umpire has forgotten what calling strikes are at this point. Garahan looks like a zombie out there. Jack Gallagher's going to do the right thing and talk to the sophomore pitcher, but he's just confused right now. He can't throw strikes. The umpire's not giving him strikes. And he is lost and frustrated. Manager Jim Salvatella in his 3rd year will come out to talk to the sophomore pitcher. This is now the 12th batter, of the inning. Santander hit the big double in this inning to score 2 and make it a 4-run lead. Now it's a 6-run lead. 10-4 the score. Petaluma came from behind from a 4-run deficit. Now they're going to have to come from behind from a 6-run deficit. And this game at this point defies adjectives. The umpires joined the meeting at the mound, and I would assume Coach Salvatella is getting his good words in about teaching the umpire how to call a strike again. Four batters walked in a row. It's the 2nd time Trojan pitching has done that today. These pitches, though, from Garahan, they haven't been as bad as Wolbert and Brown all over the place. They've just been very close to the zone, and the umpire continues to not give Garahan the favors. Santander takes a big swing and a miss, 0-1. Garahan, remember, was up 0-2 back 3 batters ago and ended up walking on 4 straight balls. That one misses low. Garahan clearly frustrated. His body language is clear. The Trojans came in allowing just 4.5 runs per game. They've allowed it 10 through 4 innings. They have walked so many batters at this point, I have completely lost count. I'm estimating it's around 15. 2-1. They finally call that. My goodness. He hasn't called it most of the game. It's that pitch outside on the outside corner. And the umpires, for the most part, just refused to call it. It's a strike. It's in the zone. Just hasn't been interested in calling it. And the umpires set their own zones, but it's been, at points, impossibly small today for both pitchers. Time is called. Santander had a massive double about 20 minutes ago earlier in this inning. That bounces low, and Gallagher makes the stop. Dan O'Hagan is now getting loose for Petaluma in the pen. The Trojans do have Gavin Ochoa. The sophomore has struggled of late, but picked very well early in the season. Full count. Swing and a miss. He strikes out, and the 40-minute inning is over. Unbelievable. Wow. I think this inning started about 6:10. It's 6:40 now. Trojans come back, 4 runs down, everything going wrong, tie up this game at 4. We talked about the momentum shifting. Boy, can anything turn in half an inning. One at bat, and Nick Taramina started off with a base hit. The Gauchos strung together 3 base hits. It frustrated Garahan, and he totally got out of his rhythm. The umpire forgot how to call strikes, which granted he did to Casa Grande as well. Not blaming it. He's been consistent. He has not given good calls on either side. But it has been unfair and tough to the pitchers today. And there have now been 14 runs already put up in this game for both teams that average about giving up 5 runs per game. This is not what either side expected coming into this game, not what previous results have looked like. 2 5-3 ball games in the regular season BVAL games these teams have played. This game has defied all expectations coming in, and now the question is, can Petaluma rebound? They came from behind from 4. They made things really look pretty easy the last 2 innings. 2 runs the last 2 innings. Petaluma's looked hot. Nick Taramina's looked frustrated out there, and I would assume he's calmed down, but man, he was sitting on his rear end. I hope he got up and stretched for his sake for about 30 minutes there, and it'll be interesting again to see how he fares with these long times on the bench. He hasn't done well the past 2 innings with long rests, and the Trojan at-bats have been feisty, long, and the Trojans have worked base hits. For Petaluma, mentally here, you can't look at the scoreboard. They have 9 outs to work with, 6 runs, but the Petaluma bats can work with it, and especially with a small strike zone. If the Trojans are patient at the plate, there's no doubt Petaluma can claw their way back in this game and put the pressure on Casa, who, when the pressure was on in the top half of the 4th, definitely wilted under it. 5th inning of work for Mario Taramina. It's been by far his worst outing against Petaluma. He came into today in 14 innings pitched against Petaluma, giving up just 4 hits on 2 runs. Lewis pops this ball straight up, and it is dropped. I was looking for it going into the Casa student section. Instead, it stayed in play, and Cole Santander just dropped the ball. Lewis popped that one up a couple miles in the air. And Lewis will get a reprieve. He scored on the Sam Brown home run back in the top of the 3rd. He takes low, and it's 1-1. Trojans have scored 4 runs. 7 hits today, 3 walks. Couple errors on the Gaucho infield, uncharacteristic of Casas. Lewis drives this one deep to right center. Ball going back at the wall. Goodbye. Garrett Lewis with his 2nd home run of the year, and the Trojans cut the deficit to 5. There's a power surge in the Petaluma dugout. And look out, the Trojans can come right back. Trojans halfway through this season had hit just 1 home run. In the last 10 games, Petaluma has now hit 6, including 2 home runs in this ballgame. Brown hit the other in the 3rd, a 2-run shot over the right field fence. And that one from Lewis just sneaked over the left field fence at the 3:45 mark. Brown takes the first pitch off speed as there's still no one out. And again, a bad infield play by the Gauchos. The drop ball by Cole Santander is a big difference maker, getting a big run for Petaluma. Brown fouls this straight back, and he's quickly behind 0-2. Lewis had a big year last year, hitting 3 home runs, including a memorable decider in Petaluma's victory over Sarah, when Sarah was ranked number 3 in the state, and Petaluma upset them here at the home diamond. Hit 3 home runs over the course of the year. Now 2. This one is popped sky high into the air, but it's not going to be deep enough to get out. Drifting over in left. The catch is made by Orella. So 2 down, or 1 down, I should say. As Terramina gets the out, but for all 5 innings, we mentioned this last inning, Petaluma has had the leadoff runner reach. Trojans have done an excellent job leading innings off and making life hard on Terramina. Chad Fillinger brought in his sophomore pitcher who hasn't had a lot of innings pitched on the year. He has the 3rd most innings of all Gaucho pitchers. But he's been the pitcher to face the Trojans because he's been so dominant, including a no-hitter last month. Jack Gallagher digs in. It's just been a brilliant game for the senior as he fouls it straight back. He is dealt with pure hell behind the plate. Diving, stopping balls, and having to maintain 3 different sets of young pitchers' composures, throwing walk after walk. Batting-wise, he has a base hit and a walk. That's a nasty changeup from Terramina, dipping and darting and fluttering and then diving to the bottom of the strike zone. 1-on-2 on Gallagher, who leads Petaluma in batting average, hits, RBIs, doubles, slugging percentage. He pops this one up on the infield, and the catch is made at short, 2 down. Couple pop-ups. Terramina's retired 2 in a row. Now Zarco slides to the plate with 2 out and nobody on, and Petaluma trailing by 5. Lots more work for the Trojans to do, but they're going to have to take it 1 out at a time if they want to create a second comeback and keep their season alive. In this marathon of a game. Zarco takes the first pitch high. Petaluma should probably work here to be a little bit more patient. Terramina's pitch count getting up there. They've never faced anyone else the last 2 times they've played. As Zarco drives this one into left, or right, I should say, and the count is made. So after the big Garrett Lewis home run, Trojans go 1-2-3, and nice work by the sophomore pitcher to settle down and get some outs. And not good news for Petaluma as they just have 6 outs left in their season to try to survive and keep their year going here in the NCS the NCS first round, with the winner advancing to the quarterfinals. As we move on to the bottom of the 5th, be interesting to see if Julian Garahan can settle down for Petaluma after a disastrous 4th inning, 6 runs given up, including 3 runs walked home, and the Trojans once again just gave Casa Grande runs. You take those away, Petaluma is comfortably in command of this game, but the Trojans have just not been able to throw strikes today on the worst possible day. You wonder if it's the rust. Petaluma hasn't played in 10 days coming in. The Trojans also haven't been able to practice as much as they wanted on this field with the last 2 days being rained out, but Casa Grande's had to deal with the same thing of not practicing, and they just came into this game with a lot more energy and want, and with a lot more desire to win this game and move on to the quarterfinals, even though Petaluma has lost the last 2 outings with Casa Grande. And the Gauchos really have dominated this series over this decade. Both teams have had a lot of success, but the Trojans, until their victory earlier this year, hadn't beat Casa in 3 years. The Gauchos have really had the upper hand on Petaluma baseball and trying to continue that today, and the first time these two have faced off in the NCS playoffs in 10 years. And it certainly has been a lot of fun, a great atmosphere, and a long game. A massive crowd on both sides and a lot of energy on both sides with wild momentum swings. Bottom of the 5th. Elijah Walt settles in. He reached on a walk and scored last inning, and he takes a first pitch strike from Julian Garahan. Gavin Ochoa is now warming up for Petaluma in the bullpen. You play one game at a time, and you don't look forward. Coach Delvatella may as well empty his bullpen if need be to limit Gaucho runners. One and one. That misses low. 2-1 on Taylor, who came in with just 12 hits, 197 batting average, but he's reached a couple times today. In fact, every Casa batter has reached base today. Inside 3-1, and the story of falling behind continues. Ochoa just started warming up the end of last half inning, so he's likely not ready to come in just yet. But Garahan really looking like he's tiring out there. He's been a workhorse this year for Petaluma. This ball is hit hard and deep at the track and gone. Elijah Waltz has his first home run of the season. He answers the Garrett Lewis bomb in the top half of the inning, and it's 11-5 Casa Grande. That was a shot by Waltz, and it battled straight through some wind and drifted right onto Steve Ellison Field, 340 feet. Garahan has lost a lot of his velocity, a lot of his accuracy, and things have fallen sideways. Here's Taylor. He swings and lines this one into left field. Zarko running back, and it's over his head and off the wall. Taylor hustling to second, safely for a double. The Gaucho fans continuing to go mad. Back-to-back hits, and Coach Salvatella could not make his way to the mound faster. Gavin Ochoa is going to come in here. Things have fallen apart for Garahan. Lost his accuracy, his control, and his day is done. Pitcher number 4 coming in. A good effort from Garahan. He got outs for Petaluma, if nothing else. But Gavin Ochoa is now going to enter for Petaluma, as they've used all 4 starters today here in this first round NCS playoff game. What a wild game here. Still nobody out in the top of the 5th. And the Gaucho fans are in a great mood again. Casa jumped on Petaluma early when the Trojans couldn't find the strike zone to take a 4-run lead. The Trojans answered, and it looked like we had a tight, fun, well-played ball game, but never mind. Bottom half of the 4th is an ending Petaluma fans and Casa fans are going to remember in this rivalry. 5 runs put up. Gauchos started it with 4 base hits, and then Julian Garahan lost all comprehension of the strike zone. And clearly he just tired, lost energy. He's pitched a lot this year for Petaluma. The second most on the team, actually the most on the team. Gavin Ochoa is second, and we'll talk about in a moment. But Garahan came in 43 innings pitched, and he just looked gassed in his first year on varsity. Ochoa will come in here to pitch, the 4th pitcher for Petaluma. He had a very good start to the season, but he's had 3 poor starts in a row. It's rare for him to come out of the bullpen. This will be one of the few times he's done that this season. He's 4-4 on the year in 11 appearances with a 3.36 ERA. And the 6'2", 200-pound sophomore who returned from varsity last year as a freshman, one of only 2 returning pitchers with significant experience, and he was actually called up halfway through the year last year for Petaluma. So opposing batters reaching 40% of the time. And in 8 games started, he's only gotten past the 5th in just 2 games. He does not go long either. He's pitched a lot, but not deep into games for the most part. Jim Salvatella and Petaluma's going to need him to if they have any hope of a miraculous comeback. No outs in this bottom half of the 5th, with Casa Grande leading Petaluma 11-5 here from Abbey Field on the west side of Petaluma in the first round of this NCS playoff game. We'll have a pitch hitter as Austin Matos. No, I'm sorry. It is Nick Orella. PA announcer was incorrect. The center fielder has got an interesting batting stance. His right elbow is like a chicken wing. It's flying up in the air. Typically, you just hold it perpendicular to the bat, but his elbow's almost parallel to the bat. It's got to be an awkward angle up there. I think it'd be bad for your elbow, but Orella's had a nice game. It's working for him at least now. I don't know if it'll work for the cartilage in his elbow in 10 years. That's for him to find out. 1-1. Ochoa likely didn't expect a pitch today, but he has seen it. The 3 Trojans before him all fall apart in really spectacular fashion. Mario Taramia still working. 5 strong for the star sophomore pitcher as that misses low, 2-1. This game couldn't get longer. Ochoa is a very slow worker as well for Petaluma. Last year came in and really pitched spectacularly for Petaluma, called up for the Boris Classic tournament to get some more depth. And he really never had a bad start last year. He was 5-0 with a 1.8 ERA. So that's in there for a strike, 2-2. 6 appearances last year, 23 innings pitched, and batters only hit 200 against them. This year he's had more challenges, and obviously Petaluma's move from the SCL to the VVAL has led to some more challenges, harder teams faced. So that misses high, it's a full count. And the Trojans came in this year 14-10, last year 18-9. I think everything Petaluma faced this year really thought that would benefit them in the postseason. But I think in this game, it's actually made them tired. The Trojans have just looked exhausted and worn down in this game, worn down from a wild and I think mentally exhausting season. First batter is walked, runners at first and second, still nobody out. As Cole Shemek digs in for the Gauchos. Shemek hitting .222 on the year, 8 hits, 8 runs. 3 batted in, reaching base 44% of the time for the Gauchos. First pitch is low, and Ochoa's batting language is already a little suspect. Stay tuned after the game. We will have an interview or two for this wild NCS playoff game. This is a hard chopper. Ochoa will field it and throw to first just to get the out, which at this point is all that Petaluma wants, just outs. But it has been hard to come by. Both runners will advance to second and third. And there's 1 down. Casa trying to get its 14th victory of the season. They fought through a lot of adversity this year. I think moving from the NBL to the VVAL was actually an easier league for them. But they scheduled a very hard non-conference schedule. Lost 4 in a row early, including to Petaluma and Sonoma Valley. Along with American Canyon, they were 0-3 to start VVAL play. And they were 2-4 as well, but since then, they've been dominant, including a key 2-0 victory over Sonoma Valley. Really, with the exception of the Boris tournament, Casa has played excellent baseball since early April. There's no doubt the talent was always on the Gauchos, but young team lost 11 seniors from the 3 seed in NCS last year and some just incredible athletes on that team last year. So that's fouled off. It was going to take some time to put it together. I think for Petaluma, we thought they would take some time. They lost their first 2 games of the year, then won 7 in a row. We thought this young team's already grown up before our eyes. But the Trojans have never really stabilized themselves this year with their young core as well, even younger than Casa. Both teams winning a share of the VVAL pennant, certainly something to smile at, a success, but I think it's weird for both teams. They lost 4 games in VVAL play. I think for the powerhouses that both teams hold their standards up to, they don't consider these seasons a success. However, if you make a run in NCS, it can be. Ground ball up the middle, a base hit. This should score 2 runs. In comes Orella to score as Gallagher's tagged just late. A good effort from the center field throw, but not in time, and it is 13-5. The Gauchos blowing this game open, and Ochoa has not been the stopgap Petaluma needed. Mercy rule is 10 runs, and we are in the bottom half of the inning here. If Lamp comes around to score later in this inning, it is officially up to the coaches. But with Casa potentially having a game Saturday or at least Monday, I would assume manager Chad Fillinger would push if this game reaches 10 runs to end it now. And the way this afternoon and now evening and even late evening now really for Petaluma is gone, I'm not sure they want to continue their wild 2019 season. 0-1 on Lamp. That misses inside, and it gets away from Gallagher, who's not been at fault for a couple wild pitches this afternoon. Davis, who just came in to pinch it, will move down to second. Don't have any scores yet for you in Division II. But we'll get them if need be. Ground ball to Jacobs. 2 down as Lamp grounds out. And the Gaucho runner moves to third with 2 down. As here's Nick Taramina. One of many stars this afternoon for the Gauchos with the bat. Casa has scored crooked numbers a couple times this season. The most runs they scored was 14 against Rancho Cotati last month. Trying to top that. And there to a strike to the sophomore. Ground ball to short. The side is retired, but the Gauchos continue to add to their lead. 3 home runs, including a home run. And Petaluma will keep things going here. Or Casa Grande, excuse me, will keep things going as we move to the top half of the 6th. And I apologize. It looks like it's night out here. It is dark, full cloud cover over this west side of Petaluma, and the moon certainly reflecting Trojan fans right now. It's Petaluma now down 8. Trojans cut the lead to 5, but these Gaucho bats have been unrelentless. Only 1 inning that they have gone down without scoring runs today, and now the tune of 13 runs. And certainly the Trojan pitching has been for a much part at fault for the Gaucho success, but you have to give big credit to the Gaucho batters. They have been so focused, so poised, and so patient out there. We talked about in the open, 5 players on the Gauchos with 12 walks coming in, and they have really been so disciplined at the plate, and especially with the small strike zone, they have really, really frustrated the Trojan pitchers more than I have seen it, and it has been really absurd, the level of walks in this game. And there's multiple factors, but I think the Petaluma is just struggling with his composure, and Gaucho hitting is all acclimated to that. But the Gauchos have come through with timely hits as well, and they've been able to just limit Petaluma just enough that they're comfortably in command here and just need 6 more outs to move on to the quarterfinals of the NCS playoffs here in this Egg Bowl rivalry game as we head back out onto the field here at Abbey Field, and Petaluma trying to keep its season alive in the win or go home game. And Petaluma will be led off by Sam Jacobs, with the Trojans needing work to do. They're going to have to take it one at a time. Trojans are going to have to take it one at a time if they want to complete a Herculean comeback. Petalum's hit 2 home runs, but the Trojans are going to need big hits and to chase Taramina from this game. He pipes in a first pitch strike to Jacobs. 13-5 the score in the top half of the 6th. Foul. One and 2 on the senior for Petaluma, potentially playing his final game in the purple pinstripes. 2-year varsity players, had an excellent career, feisty player, an excellent fielder as well for Petaluma, their longtime infielder. Jacob strikes out. Only 3 sports remaining for both Casa and Petaluma, and we do have a result from the NCS track meet of champions that's taking place today at Pleasant Hill, Diablo Valley Community College. Joe Brown takes the first pitch outside, and heartbreak for Petaluma. Sydney Dennis trying to make her state meet as a senior. Finishes 1 spot out of making state. She finished 4th. And the senior will not move on to state. She had another terrific jump, 37 feet, 3.25 inches, which is just off her mark from last week. But as it's 3-0 now on Brown, it was just not enough for Dennis, as the girl who finished 3rd from Cardinal A jumps 37 feet 4 inches. So by less than an inch as Brown walks. By less than an inch, Dennis misses moving on to the state meet. Would have been the first Petaluma athlete to go to state in 5 years, but unlikely to happen though. Dennis still has 3 more events to go. Tony Mokel was also competing for Petaluma in the triple jump. Had a nice performance, finished 17th. Trojans have a couple more athletes at the Meet of Champions tomorrow. Callie Sullivan. And the 100-meter dash as Krupp takes a strike, 1-1. He had a big RBI fielder's choice that tied up this game in the top half of the 4th, and looked like Petaluma was back in it. Krupp drives this ball deep to left, going back at the wall. It's off the wall. Brown having to race around to 3rd, and he's out. Excellent throw from left field. Brown had to wait to make sure it wasn't caught, did not get a good jump, and a laser throw from left field. Oria, and 2 down. Heartbreaking for Petaluma. Looked like they would get runners in scoring position, trying to mount a comeback. The Gauchos steal another out. 2 down. Now Krupp at second. It is his first varsity base hit, as the first pitch is swung at from Zach Clark, from Ethan Wilson. Fouled off. Wilson, another 6 seniors for Petaluma, takes inside. 1-1. Taryn Mina has pitched 2 complete games already on Petaluma this season, trying to make it 1 more. All he needs are 4 more outs, and he's certainly gotten help today, as this one is driven into right center. The center fielder under it, and the catch is made. Side retired. Petaluma gets 2 hits, but a runner thrown out and no runs. And all the Gauchos need 3 more outs to move on. Can we throw it back onto the field? There's no reason to be looking. You're looking into the abyss instead of myself. And we will move on to the bottom half of the 6-0 show. We'll continue working. Now you're going to be able to see me on the moment again. It's the magic of camera settings. There I am. I'm Griffin Epstein, joining you again here from the Petaluma High Baseball Diamond, with the Casa Grande Gauchos leading the Petaluma Trojans 13-5 here in the bottom of the 6th, first round of the NCS playoffs. What a wild game it has been this afternoon. If you're just joining us, you have missed a lot of baseball. I would say about 2.5 hours of baseball. More walks in a game than I have ever seen in my life, and ever hope to see in my life. My goodness. And it has hurt both teams, but especially Petaluma. The Trojans have issued close to 20 walks here today. They have walked home 4 Casa Grande runners, and a lot of unearned runs on the board, but the Gauchos' clutch hitting has been a big part of it. An excellent job by Petaluma. They trailed 4-0, marched back to tie it at 4 with a couple key base hits. Petaloma's hit 2 home runs today, but it was not enough, as the Gauchos had a 6-run inning in the bottom half of the 4th after the game was tied, and they just continue to add runs. They added 3 more in the 5th, and the lead is 8 right now for Casa Grande as they hope to move on to the NCS quarterfinals for the third year in a row. The Gauchos know how to win an NCS, and once again proving it here on this Friday afternoon on this Egg Bowl rivalry. We'll head back out onto the field where Gavin Ochoa has his second inning of work. He's the fourth Trojan pitcher to pitch here today. Oh, I'm sorry, we have a fifth Trojan pitcher. Ochoa is gone, and Dan O'Hagan is entered. Manager Jim Salvatella getting everyone to have some action today. O'Hagan has not had a good season statistically. Just hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities. The junior, in just 4 appearances, a 12.6 ERA. Batters are reaching half the time they face them. O'Hagan just 5 innings pitched as Noah Bailey digs in and takes the first pitch low. Again, Mercy rolls 10 runs. If the Gauchos can mount 2 more runs, this game will come to a close. It's also likely our final live stream of the season here at Trojan Live, as this one is lined into left field, a base hit, and the Gaucho bets just continue to mash. And we did say on Tuesday we were live streaming the varsity softball's NCS victory. Thought that would be the last one, but the rain moved this game here to Petaluma. So we'll hope maybe the varsity softball team can get us another home game, but the Trojans will be on the road Monday at and Martinez against Alhambra. We'll be there to cover that. If Petaluma wins that, potentially could play a lower seed, and we could have one more live stream. But if not, it has been truly a pleasure this year to bring you so many baseball and softball games and so many Petaluma High sporting events. I know we have a lot of both Gaucho and Trojan fans tuning in. And with the new VVAL this year, there's been a lot of Egg Bowl games, and we brought to you a lot of Egg Bowl games, and it's been a lot of fun to have both Gaucho and Trojan fan watching, and the comments come in, and I've heard both from Trojan fans, Gaucho fans, coaches, and players about how much they tune into the broadcast and enjoy watching one of the best high school rivalries in the whole Bay Area. 1-1 on the Gaucho junior, Cole Santander, who had a big double last inning. He lines this one into left, and the catch is made by Zarco, leaping into the air for an outstanding play. 1 down, and that might have just kept this game alive for Petaluma. Waltz will come in as O'Hagan has his first out. Waltz hit a massive bomb last inning as part of a 3-run fifth. If you missed any of our baseball, softball coverage this season, including in both the regular season Egg Bowls, baseball and softball that were here at the Petaluma High School campus, those are both on our YouTube channel. We've got all sorts of other games over the course of this year, as will be a stolen base for Bailey, who has his 4th stolen base this year. Not to match Joe Lamp, who has 14 coming in. I haven't seen Lamp much on the base pass, with lots of room to work with at least. He's seen a lot of runners in front of him reach on walks. The Gauchos have been aggressive on the base pass tonight when they've had room, to their benefit. If you want to check out past year's episodes as well of Petaluma baseball and softball, also on our YouTube channel. We've got basketball games on there, soccer. It's been a really fun year covering Petaluma High School sports. Some really memorable moments this year. Live events. That one misses low, gets away from Gallagher, and Bailey will trot down to third, the easiest stolen base he's going to get this afternoon. It's 3-1, and Bailey should score easily on anything hit to the outfield. One of the most memorable moments was an earlier season matchup between Casa and Petaluma over at Ellison Field. 2018 Egg Bowl did not disappoint this year. That misses low, and Waltz walks. But it was heartbreaking, really, for Petaluma in their Egg Bowl loss, but just a wild back-and-forth game. The Football Egg Bowl this year. Casa Grande coming out on top, scoring a touchdown with 37 seconds left. And we had over 200 viewers tune into that. We have over 1,000 people that have gone back and now watched that. I'd highly recommend, checking that out if you're Petaluma or Casa fan. A lot of fun. O'Hagan's quick day is done, and it's time for Jim Salvatello to get the seniors in. Garrett Gehring comes in for the final outing of his varsity career. He'll get a couple batters. And other memorable moments we've live streamed to you this year. Another Petaluma Casa moment. It's been so one of the best things about VVAL has been Petaluma and Casa have gotten to play each other twice in league, and it's meant a lot more rivalry between the two schools, a lot more playing of the Egg Bowl and all the sports, and it really has been a lot of fun. Wrestling Egg Bowl was a lot of fun this year. We live streamed that in the gym, and the Trojans won a VVAL title with a thrilling comeback victory over the Gauchos. It was a winner-take-all VVL championship affair. Petaluma Wrestling won another league championship, their third in a row. One of the top moments in Trojan sports this year. Was very fun. And we're going to throw it back on me as Gehring's warming up here. A couple other memorable moments this year. Varsity girls soccer team cannot forget about mentioning them. What a year they had for Petaluma, including defeating Casa that would win them the VVAL title, undefeated regular season for the girls soccer team, and they would go all the way to the NCS semifinals. And man, we streamed that NCS semifinal game. One of the best games I've ever done here at Petaluma High. It went to penalty kicks. Trojans against Campolindo. Petaluma had never made it to an NCS finals game, and Steve Ellison Field was packed, probably the biggest crowd ever for a soccer game at Ellison Field. The tension was palpable in the air. It was about 30 degrees with a wind chill of 20 in a late February night. But man, a thrilling game. Went to penalty kicks, and the Trojans lost in heartbreak. But it's one of those that you remember, and it was truly what sports is all about. And why we do these live streams, it was such a cold night. We had so many staff, students, parents. We had fans of Miramonte, who's going to play the winner, watching the penalty kicks. We had about 300 people watching those penalty kicks, and that is why we do this, because you want to build community here in Petaluma, and high school sports have a power, and a game like that had just such a powerful effect on so many people to watch just an incredible game, two incredible teams, two teams of incredible women playing some incredible, fantastic soccer out on the pitch. And truly a pleasure to watch when it feels like sometimes everything in the world's going awry. You can look at things like high school sports, and you can regain your trust in the world and in our generation. If you want to check out that soccer game I just raved about as the savior to the world, that's also on our YouTube channel. Gehring throws that one in the dirt. Judging from his warm-up pitches, he's got some work to do. The Mercy Rule winning run sitting at second. If Casa scores 15, it'd be the most runs they have scored this year. And Petaluma, most runs they'd given up coming into this year was 13 against Maria Carrillo back on April 22nd. That would be a strike against most umpires, but not this one, 2-0. Not that I'm bitter. So many people to thank as well for the live streams we've had this year and the last 3 years. Really, the list could go on and on as that one skips low and Gallagher's still battling to save it. So many people have come out to film, to direct, and it's truly the people behind the camera, behind the screen that make this broadcast so smooth, so clean. So we really try to get it to a professional level. And they're the ones that you should go out and thank because they truly bring it to you. We couldn't do these live streams if not for people like Jamie Cantieri, Bo Miller, who've done an excellent job today. Both of them have been our superior crew, my go-to guys to provide a quality stream this year. That one is low, gets away from Gallagher, bounces back, and the bases are loaded for Gehring. We have another pitcher warming up, but my eyes are hurting, straining over into the Trojan bullpen, so I can't read the number. Bases loaded, a base hit here by Nick Orella, who's had a big day, though who hasn't in the Gaucho lineup. Should end this ball game. That bounces low off the face of Gallagher. My goodness, he has just been a nasty backstop. And Coach Jim Salvatella has seen enough, I believe, of that. He is in a desire to give everyone frostbite tonight. And if Petaluma stalls a little more, they might not be able to finish this game. Sunset's in about 30 minutes, and it's starting to get especially dark with cloud cover. It's the third-year manager having a conversation with Garrett Gehring. 50-29 Salvatella over the course of the year. And obviously, this game personal for him, the former JV coach at Casa, but only one victory so far in now 8 times facing the Gauchos. As a manager, another pitching change as we will see Nico. No, we're going to see Ryan Palmini make his varsity entrance here. I wasn't even sure. Looked down. I saw Nico Bertolucci was 9. Knew that was not 9. But it's Rocco Palmini who enters. Am I saying his last name right? What? No, it's not. Rocco Palmini will enter for the Trojans, making their first entrance. We want to throw it back on me as the Trojans now have used their 7th pitcher today. That might be a team record. And was going on thanking really everyone that has helped with these Trojan Live broadcasts over the last few years. I want to give a big thank you to Matthew Columba, who's now, of course, at CSU Northridge doing great things there. He's really the one that taught me live streams, and we decided to do live streams because of him. Started on Mr. Victor Brazil's patio streaming football, and it really took off from there. The feedback from the community, from fans, from players, from people all over the country whose family wanted to tune in and watch, even though they were 500 miles away, could watch their athletes, was truly why we kept on doing it and have tried to have more and more live streams of more and more sports. We've done so many different sports: football, basketball, wrestling, volleyball, baseball, softball, girls soccer for the first time this year, and it's really been a lot of fun. The feedback from the community has been vital, but Matthew Columba really taught me everything and taught me how to do a good broadcast. Ben Vandermeer, who's a senior leaving this year as well for Petaluma, Trojan Live, has just been so instrumental in coming out to as many broadcasts as he can and helping, and he was also instrumental in starting live streams of Petaluma sports. What a great job he's done, and all the seniors leaving this year. Jamie will be departing as a senior this year. It's a core group of Trojan Live seniors started as sophomores when this TV station, this class was founded here at Petaluma High, and really built the program to great heights, and especially serving the sports community has truly warmed my heart in the feedback I've gotten. First pitch is lined deep into right field. That will get down and end this ball game. 2 runs will come around. It's a short outing for Palmini. 2-run score, 15-5, and that's the ball game. The Gauchos are not going to even try to talk with Petaluma and not have a mercy rule. Casa will move on to the quarterfinals, and Petaluma's season comes to a close. Final score here from the Petaluma High School baseball diamond, Abbey Field. Casa Grande 15, Petaluma 5 in a mercy rule, 6 innings. Gauchos move to 14-11 on the season. The Trojans fall to 14-11. Interviews coming up next, so stay tuned. The Gauchos moving on to the quarterfinals. They do it once again. We do not have a score yet from Redwood, but potentially they're scheduled to play Redwood in Larkspur tomorrow. If Bethel wins, they'll be at home if their time end ever dries. Stay tuned. Interviews coming up next as Petaluma High's baseball season comes to a rough end. A wild up and down season reflected in this game. A wild up and down game. In the end, the Gauchos bats unrelentless, and they wanted this game more as they get the victory. Stay tuned. Interviews coming up next. Can you
okay, putting it on extra.
That's unlikely. All right. We're about to grab Trojan player and manager Jim Salvatella after the Trojan season concludes here in just a really nightmare of a ball game. 15-5. The Gauchos just going mad right now. They just broke their huddle, and they wanted this game start to finish. They had a slight blip in play in the third and fourth inning. Petaluma tied this game. The Gauchos responded. They came out hungry. They look ready, and for a team that's now won, it's on me now. For a team that's now won 7 out of their last 8 games, you really have to give Casa all the credit. They came in hot, playing exceptional baseball, and they've, for a young team, really put things together. And I think they've got a good chance to make a run. They beat Redwood in their very first game of the season 5-3. They'll likely, don't have a result yet from Larkspur, but likely play the Giants probably on Monday. And the way this team's playing, they can beat any team in NCS, including the #1 seeded Redwood Giants. So it's a very, I think, lots of parity in this NCS from about 1 to 11 is pretty even. And even saw the 2 seed Washington have trouble. I think there's a good chance Casa